Today, I'm going to talk to you about how to promote the knowledge about selective mutism, a new book, and I'm meeting an amazing colleague. So I would like to welcome Joanna, who is a music therapist, is a mother of a child with selective mutism, and she's spreading awareness across the UK. So join me and wait until the end, because there are so many new things happening. Welcome, Joanna. It's so lovely to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
I love that you're out and about, always scooting. So, Joanna, tell us a little bit about really the first thing. You know, people that have been following me for ages, they know my passion about selective mutism. And it's so lovely to meet somebody that has the same fire. And I'm going to put everything that I talk about just in the description below and the links for anything that we are going to talk about. So let's start with the campaign. So first of all, it came about, as I said at the beginning and in the introduction, because you are not only a professional, so a music therapist that work with children with selective mutism, but also you're a mom of a child with SM.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the campaign. Can people still sign up?
So you can still sign the campaign, and I would really suggest you do. So to get a response from government, I needed 10,000 signatures. So I got my government response. But for them to actually kind of debate it, you're looking at more of 100,000.
Okay.
At the moment, we're on 40,000.
So what is the main objective?
So as it stands at the moment, there's no particular guidelines the county has to meet. So there's no standard that has to be met. So they're responding at the moment going, well, we haven't got a standard to meet, so we're not actually doing anything. So what the campaign's really trying to do is to get the government to put in nice guidelines that are specific for selective mutism, rather than just kind of, not just, but rather than a more broader social anxiety. It's being much more specific to the need that people with SM have. And saying it's not okay that you don't have a standard. There has to be a standard of care across the UK that has to be met.
We, both of us, follow SMIRA, which is the Selective Mutism Information and Research Association, which is the only UK charity. And they try, to do and a lot. And in the group and the Facebook group, there are thousands. I think there's 30,000. And every day we hear the same thing. I'm finding myself on my own. I never knew about selective mutism. Where am I meant to go? Everybody's passing me like a parcel. Or if anything, saying, don't worry about it, your child will grow out of it. So how did you find yourself as a mother?
Yeah, so as a therapist, I thought, I've done a lot of the training and I picked up the signs in Lucy fairly early. I knew it was going to be a hard fight to get her support because I've seen the families that I've worked with fight for NHS support. As a mum, I found myself really kind of mama bearish and really fiery, that she needed protecting and she needed somebody to give her that voice. She needed the support, and us as a family needed the support. I felt a little bit lost. And so to then be told, actually, no, we discharge on the day that you're diagnosed. And unfortunately, we're not going to offer you any more care. It blew my mind, really.
Mm-hmm. So here we've got the biggest dilemma. So a lot of people want a diagnosis because it gives clarity. Sometimes it's almost kind of like, oh, right, okay, that makes sense. So what? And I'm up for the family dynamic approach. Obviously, this is what I offer. But likewise, because in Scotland is that I am the package. So I'm here to support you. I'm here to give you a diagnosis. And I'm also here if you need me. But you're absolutely right. Unless you find that is not clear.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have children that come so late. It's not too late, but it takes ages. And so this is about being heard and recognized. Now, we know that selective mutism is more than the fear of talking. Children need to find themselves, they have to regulate. They don't really realize that the amygdala is constantly telling them something that is not true.
Mm-hmm.
They feel unsafe, although the environment in school, nurseries, at friends' houses is actually safe, but they constantly feel safe. And I do love to introduce movement, music, drawing, and try to take the pressure off words, although I'm a speech therapist, because words is what you cannot see or cannot hear, but we are way more than words, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I love the idea of music. I'm musical, but I'm musical as in I love music, but I don't play any instrument. So tell me a little bit about your approach, and maybe for people to start thinking about, music therapy.
Yes. So I think lots of people have it in their minds that we all have flowers in our hair, play guitars and sing kumbaya. And it's not so much like that. So when I trained, I did a lot of psychodynamic training. So lots on the brain, and how we can use music to regulate the brain, and what's called a rhythmic, targeted rhythmic intervention. So we're using loads of rhythms and patterns to relax and regulate. We can paint while we listen to that music. So it's not just that you're making music all the time. Some children don't like to do that, but they like to listen to music while we do other things because it calms the brain. So if you're listening to music while we're engaging in an activity like a game or art or play with puppets, it's regulating the brain enough that we can start communicating in loads of other ways. We can start having fun, and within fun and safety, that opens this world of communication and imagination that we can start tapping into.
We are very complex. I always talk about the brain. So even when we talk, it's a whole flow. And if you think about when children are babies, I think they're almost, singing with all the, babbling is there. And it's the kind of rhythm. So I guess that for me is really important that people realize that we are much more than the whole sliding in, which is great, don't get me wrong. But again, what we're doing is we're focusing only on the words rather than the whole self-regulation. Now, something which is, again, exciting is we all learn, if we all have all the senses, through seeing, hearing, feeling, and obviously you tap it with the self-regulation, with the music, but you managed to write a book. So you will find a link below, and it's a book about your child. So tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, so it's I've written a couple, but this one's definitely, it's my favorite because this one's about us and it's about her. And I watched her playing, and she was playing with her toys, and one of her toys couldn't talk, and she had the other toys, and it was very much kind of like a Christopher Robin type play she was doing with Winnie the Pooh and all these little characters. And she played out her SM with her toys. So yeah, I took that and just turned her story into a book. And it's a rhythmic rhyming book as well. So you've got that feeling of rhythm in what you do, which we know, similar to babies, we know that rhythm and that pattern really calms and regulates. So I used her play, and she is in the book. There's a little girl on every page of the book. And the book doesn't actually say much about her in there. It's very much her playing with her toys and her words as she went through with her play.
Oh, that is amazing. Children really express themselves through play. Playing, it's just opens up a magical world, and they don't need to use words, but it's a really nice way of bringing it into, and for us to understand. What's the target age, would you find, for the book?
It's young. It's about 3 to 5. So it's those really early years.
Yeah. So I would say, do you use books? Let me know. And it's a really nice way of making children understand without having to ask directly. And I always say, please don't ask your child, why don't you talk? Because it's almost like, why do you walk? There isn't a why, because it's all kind of, wired. Now, if you were to say or give one piece of advice that would be the biggest one that really worked for you, for a parent.
Things that have worked for us is doing this as a family and not saying this is about Lucy, this is Lucy's problem, how are we going to fix Lucy? That's not going to work for us.
Yeah.
Or just reward her, all the attention's on her, and she's like going, I don't want this, I don't understand. Whereas as a family, and this is very similar to what you do that I love, is that we're practicing the brave muscle, and we're all doing it. So we're all massively putting ourselves out of our comfort zone, and we encourage each other. So if I feel nervous and I'm going, oh, mummy's going to do this brave, scary thing that we've been working towards with lots of little steps, I'll say to Lucy, what can I do that's going to make mummy feel better? And she'll say, oh, mummy, tap your knees like we like doing, or sing this song. So she's really thinking through all those kind of anxiety reducing techniques to help us without realizing that it's kind of really helping her. And definitely as a family, it's not a child on their own. As a family.
Absolutely, because you want to make sure that you give the model. Everybody's scared of something, we're all in it, so the concentration is not on your child. Oh, that's amazing. So keep following us. There's loads, I'm sure, that we are going to maybe do together in maybe other platforms. And both myself and Joanne will be able to answer your questions if you put them below. Thank you so much for being here with me. That's amazing. Enjoy your day.
Thank you, you too.
I'm ever so grateful to Joanna, her passion, her stamina, and I really hope we are going to be spreading the awareness of selective mutism. So please let me know. What do you do to make sure people understand selective mutism? Have you got any ideas, any suggestions? Please pop them below. And the new thing about Steps to Brave Talking? You get me. Yes, finally, I've managed to create masterclasses. So depending on the age of your child, you can choose for a child that is 2 to 5, 6 till 8, 9 till 11. And obviously there are the masterclasses linked with the course Steps to Brave Talking. Any questions, pop them below. Remember to subscribe, comment and share. See you the next time.